dito rin po ako para mag-ayuda sa inyo mga small YouTuber dyan. Pasok-pasok lang po. At ako ay handang tumulong at mag-ayuda. Kunyari. Ayan, mag-ano na muna tayo ng Word of God up. Uy, dumami na po ang aking puting iban. Hindi po ako magkukulay mo para lumabas ang aking white hair. Halatang patanda na po ay ako po ay kainom ko lang po ng spirulina. Mag Word of God muna tayo. Kain muna tayo ng Word of Wisdom. Ayan, salamat po sa ating Panginoon. Heavenly Father, thanks much po sa lahat. Sabi, shout out kay Anisadora Vlog sa kanyang pakulay kahapon. Maraming salamat sa pag-share ng iyong blessings, sis Anisadora Vlog. God bless din at good luck sa iyong YTC. Pasasaan ba at mararating mo rin ang aking narating, pero wala pa yung aking AdSense pin. Waiting pa. Kahapon nasa na po ang ating pagbasa chapter
Daniel sees four beasts representing the kingdoms of men.
Teka lang.
Chapter 7. Daniel sees four beasts representing the kingdoms of men. He sees the Ancient of Days, Adam, to whom the Son of Man, Christ, will come. The kingdom will be given to the saints forever.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. Before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wings as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands stood unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld, even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. shall not pass away,
lakas at malusog na
and his
buhay.
king. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time, and times, and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Chapter 8. Daniel sees in vision a ram, Media and Persia, a goat, Greece, 4 other kings, and then in the last days, a fierce king who will destroy the holy people. This king will be broken when he stands up against the Prince of Princes.
In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw, that I was in Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ilibre. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host, and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ilibre, which called, and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, Understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me, and set me upright. And he said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted, and was sick certain days. Afterward I rose up, and did the king's business. And I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
Chapter 9. Daniel fasts, confesses, and prays for all Israel. Gabriel reveals the time of the coming of the Messiah, who will make reconciliation for iniquity. The Messiah will be cut off.
In the first year of Darius the son of Ahasuerus of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. And I set my face unto the Lord God, to seek by prayer and supplications, with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned, and have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel, that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Therefore hath the Lord watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice. And now, O Lord our God, that hast brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and hast gotten thee renown, as at this day, we have sinned, we have done wickedly. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city Jerusalem, thy holy mountain. Because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us. Now therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servant and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. O my God, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolations in the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousnesses, but for thy great mercies. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake, O my God. For thy city and thy people are called by thy name. And whiles I was speaking and praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yea, whiles I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me, and talked with me, and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee. For thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter, and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice in the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Chapter 10. Daniel sees the Lord and others in a glorious vision. He is shown what is to be in the latter days.
In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire. and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong.
Shout out.
And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael, your prince.
Thanks, Lord. So good.
Chapter 11. Daniel sees the successive kings and their wars, leagues, and conflicts that lead up to the second coming of Christ.
Also I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength through his riches he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others beside those. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together. For the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm. But she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. And shall also carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold. And he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces. And one shall certainly come, and overflow, and pass through. Then shall he return, and be stirred up even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude. But the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army, and with much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities. And the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the ford of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him he shall work deceitfully. For he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small people. He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches, yea, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds even for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits, and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south. But it shall not be as the former, or as the latter. For the ships of Kittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong, and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper, till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen, and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help
May
him.
jacket ka na.
Chapter 12. In the last
Talong mo,
days,
ito,
Michael
talong.
will deliver Israel from their troubles. Daniel tells of the two
Talong
resurrections.
mo, talong.
The wise will know the times and meanings of his visions.
Wala, tapos na
And at that
ako.
time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
Kain.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Baba ka ng bahay.
And many of them
Kaya
that sleep in
mag-alala.
the dust of the earth shall awake,
Talong
some
lang
to
yan.
everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
Kain ko.
But thou, O Daniel,
Binili lang yan,
shut up the
31
words and seal the book
tota.
even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and
Tamang-tama
fro,
dun sa
and knowledge shall be
white
increased.
PC mo ah.
Then I, Daniel, looked,
Talong mo.
and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river.
OTW
And
sa'yo.
one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river,
OTW
How long
sa'yo,
shall it be to
talong
the end of
mo.
these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,335 days. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest, and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
Gusto ko sa talong. Magherba ka ano ba
Hosea.
yung talong mo?
Chapter 1.
Yung main.
Hosea and his family are a sign unto Israel.
Mag-type ka ng
In the
herba
day of
pag
gathering,
may
the
gamit
people
mo.
of Israel will become the sons of the living God.
The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beeri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel. The beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, which conceived and bare him a son. And the Lord said unto him, Call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And it shall come to pass at that day, that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. And she conceived again, and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, Call her name Lo-ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Now when she had weaned Lo-ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said God, Call his name Lo-ammi, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass, that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Chapter 2. Worshipping false gods brings severe judgments upon Israel. In the last days, Israel will be reconciled to God and become his people.
Say ye unto your brethren, Ammi, and to your sisters, Ruhamah, plead with your mother, plead. For she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother hath played the harlot, she that conceived them hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her paths. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. For she did not know that I gave her corn, and wine, and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, These are my rewards that my lovers have given me. And I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her the days of Baalim, wherein she burned incense to them. And she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels. And she went after her lovers, and forgat me, saith the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will allure her, and bring her into the wilderness, and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishai, and shalt call me no more Baali. For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear, saith the Lord. I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth. And the earth shall hear the corn, and the wine, and the oil. And they shall hear Jezreel. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which were not my people, Thou art my people. And they shall say, Thou art my God.
Chapter 3. Israel will seek the Lord, return to the Lord, and receive of his goodness in the latter days.
Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods, and love flagons of wine. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for an homer of barley, and an half homer of barley. And I said unto her, Thou shalt abide for me many days. Thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return, and seek the Lord their God, and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days.
Chapter 4. Israel loses all truth, mercy, and knowledge of God, and goes whoring after false gods.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing, and lying, and killing, and stealing, and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another. For thy people are as they that strive with the priest. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night. And I will destroy thy mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people like priest, and I will punish them for their ways, and reward them their doings. For they shall eat, and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom, and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom, and wine, and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their God. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains, and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks, and poplars, and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that doth not understand shall fall. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye unto Gilgal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer.
Next.
Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices.
Ay, magtamsak lang pala ako sa inyo.
Chapter 5. The kingdoms of Judah and Israel will both fall because of their iniquities.
Hear ye this, O priests, and hearken, ye house of Israel,
Bigyan
and
kita,
give ye
bro.
ear, O
Bro,
house of the
Eric,
king.
bigyan kita sa
For
banana.
judgment is toward you, because ye have been a snare on Mizpah, and a net spread
Sa
upon
May
Tabor,
25,
and the revolters are profound to make slaughter, though I have been a rebuker of them all.
Wait lang.
I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled. They will not frame their doings to turn unto their God, for the spirit of whoredoms is in the midst of them, and they have not known the Lord. And the pride of Israel doth testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. They shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children. Now shall a month devour them with their portions. Blow ye the cornet in Gibeah, and the trumpet in Ramah. Cry aloud at Bethaven after thee, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall surely be. The princes of Judah were like them that remove the bound. Therefore I will pour out my wrath upon them like water.
Aray ko.
Ephraim is oppressed and broken in judgment, because he willingly walked after the commandment. Therefore will I be unto Ephraim as a moth, and to the house of Judah as rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness, and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian, and sent to King Jareb. Yet could he not heal you, nor cure you of your wound. For I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, and as a young lion to the house of Judah. I, even I, will tear and go away. I will take away, and none shall rescue him. I will go and return to my place, till they acknowledge their offense, and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early.
Chapter 6. Hosea calls Israel to return and serve the Lord. The mercy and knowledge of God are more important than ritualistic sacrifices.
Come, and let us return unto the Lord,
Come, let us.
for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath
Present
smitten,
host.
and he will bind us up. After 2 days will
Ana
he
na
revive
Ben
us.
Vlog,
In
kumusta
the
na
third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew, it goeth away. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. But they like men have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me.
buhay.
Gilead is a city
Na
of
iba
them
na
that
ang
work iniquity,
aking
and is polluted with blood. And
buhay-bahay.
as troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in the way by consent, for they commit
Asa na ba
lewdness.
yung kay...
I have seen an horrible thing in the house of Israel.
Ayan,
There is the whoredom of Ephraim.
patamsak lang sa...
Israel is
Wala,
defiled.
meron din akong premier.
Also, O Judah, he hath set an harvest for thee, when
Patamsak
I
sa
return the
aking
captivity of my
premier.
people.
May premier ako.
Chapter 7. Israel is reproved for her many sins. Ephraim is mixed among the people.
When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria. For they commit falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoileth without. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are
Patamsak
before my
naman sa
face.
aking premier,
They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceaseth from raising after he hath kneaded the dough, until it be leavened. In the day of our king the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners. For they have made ready their heart like an oven, whilst they lie in wait. Their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. When they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven. I will chastise them as their congregation hath heard. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. Though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. And they have not cried unto me with their heart, when they howled upon their beds. They assemble themselves for corn and wine, and they rebel against me. Though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. They return, but not to the Most High.
With harang.
They are like a deceitful bow. Their
with
princes
harang.
shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue.
It's
This shall be their
raining
derision in the
here,
land of
but
Egypt.
Super summer.
Chapter 8.
Super summer.
Both Israel and
Super
Judah
summer.
have forsaken the Lord.
Super hot.
The Lord has written the great things of his law to Ephraim.
Grabe ang
Set the trumpet to thy mouth.
pawis.
He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant, and trespassed against my law.
Kababaeng tao
Israel shall cry unto me, My God, we know thee. Israel hath cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by
Maya amoy
me.
pawis na.
They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off.
Electric fan here.
Thy calf, O Samaria,
But
hath
I
cast thee
want
off.
For
Mine
tipid-
anger is kindled
tipid
against
in
them.
Electric
How
bill.
long will it be ere they
I
attain
love
to innocency?
Fan.
For from Israel was it also.
Manual lang.
The
Like
workman
that.
made it.
I
Therefore
enjoy
it is not God. But the calf
like
of
this
Samaria
one.
shall be broken in pieces.
Ang puti na.
For they have sown the wind, and they shall
Smart.
reap the
Wait.
whirlwind.
Next.
It hath no stalk. The bud shall yield no meal.
Nalilito
If so
na
be
lang
it
ako
yield,
sa-
the strangers shall
Dalawang
swallow it
cellphone
up.
lang ito, ha.
Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
Anana,
For they are gone
si
up to
bro,
Assyria,
Anana,
a wild
Lord.
ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers. Yea, though they have hired among the nations.
Tuwara.
Now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the
Smart,
burden
I
of the
have
king of
tuwara.
princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings, and eat it. But the Lord accepteth them not. Now will he remember their iniquity, and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. For Israel hath forgotten his Maker, and buildeth temples, and Judah hath multiplied fenced cities. But I will send a fire upon his cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof.
Chapter 9. The people of Israel are taken into captivity for their sins. Ephraim will be a wanderer among the nations.
Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people. For thou hast gone a whoring from thy God. Thou hast loved a reward upon every corn floor. The floor and the winepress shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail in her. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. They shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted. For their bread, for their soul, shall not come into the house of the Lord. What will ye do in the solemn day, and in the day of the feast of the Lord? For lo, they are gone because of destruction. Egypt shall gather them up. Memphis shall bury them. The pleasant places for their silver, nettles shall possess them. Thorns shall be in their tabernacles. The days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool. The spiritual man is mad. For the multitude of thine iniquity and the great hatred. The watchman of Ephraim was with my God, but the prophet is a snare of a fowler in all his ways, and hatred in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves, as in the days of Gibeah. Therefore he will remember their iniquity. He will visit their sins. I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. But they went to Baal Peor, and separated themselves unto that shame, and their abominations were according as they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird from the birth, and from the womb, and from the conception. Though they bring up their children, yet will I bereave them, that there shall not be a man left. Yea, woe also to them when I depart from them. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. All their wickedness is in Gilgal, for there I hated them. For the wickedness of their doings I will drive them out of mine house. I will love them no more. All their princes are revolters. Ephraim is smitten. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him. And they shall be wanderers among the nations.
Chapter 10. Israel has plowed wickedness and reaped iniquity. Hosea calls upon Israel to seek the Lord.
Israel is an empty vine. He bringeth forth fruit unto himself. According to the multitude of his fruit he hath increased the altars. According to the goodness of his land they have made goodly images. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty. He shall break down their altars. He shall spoil their images. For now they shall say, We have no king, because we feared not the Lord. What then should a king do to us? They
Dan
have spoken
tamsak
words,
sa
swearing
nakapin.
falsely
Okay,
and making a
sis.
covenant. Thus
Sis,
judgment
anime,
springeth
pin
up
kita.
as hemlock in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of
Ana na
Samaria
Ben
shall fear
Vlog,
because
naglablog
of the
sa'yo
calves of
si.
Bethaven. For the people thereof shall mourn over it, and the priests thereof that rejoiced on it, for the glory thereof, because it is departed from it. It shall be also carried unto Assyria for a present to King Jerob. Ephraim shall receive shame, and
Ana
Israel shall be
na.
ashamed of his own counsel.
Ana na Ben
As for
Vlog,
Samaria, her king is cut off as the foam
lablab
of
pa ako
water.
ng isa.
The high places also of Avon, the sin of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, Cover us, and to the hills, Fall on us.
Ganyan smart.
O Israel,
Chang.
thou hast sinned from the days of Gibeah. There
Ganyan
they
pala
stood.
yun.
The battle in Gibeah against the children of iniquity did not
Kay,
overtake them.
parang kay ano.
It is in my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them, when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows.
Ay naku,
Is an heifer that is
magtigil
taught
ka.
and
Sabi ko
loveth to
sabay
tread
ka
out the
to.
fold. But I passed over upon her fair neck.
Alis
I
na
will make
kumaya.
Ephraim to ride,
Kumain ka
Judah
na
shall
dito.
plow, and Jacob shall break his clods. Sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord, till he come
Ay, di naman
and rain
makakomment.
righteousness upon you.
Tamsak
Ye
dalawa,
have
bigay
plowed
isang
wickedness, ye have reaped
banana.
iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou
Next.
didst trust in thy way, in the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be spoiled, as Shalman spoiled Betharban in the day of battle. The mother was dashed in pieces upon her children. So shall Bethel do unto you because of your great wickedness. In a morning shall the king of Israel utterly be cut off.
Chapter 11. Israel as a child was called out of Egypt in similitude of our Lord as a child coming out of Egypt. But Ephraim turns away from the Lord.
When Israel was a child, then I
Wait
loved him,
lang.
and called my son out of Egypt. As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Baalim, and burned incense to graven images. I taught Ephraim also to go, taking them by their arms. But they knew not that I healed them. I drew them with cords of a man, with bands of love. And I was to them as they that take off the yoke on their jaws. And I laid meat unto them. He shall not return into the land of Egypt, but the Assyrian shall be his king, because they refused to return. And the sword shall abide on his cities, and shall consume his branches, and devour them, because of their own counsels. And my people are bent to backsliding from me, though they called them to the Most High. None at all would exalt him. How shall I give thee up, Ephraim? How shall I deliver thee, Israel? How shall I make thee as Admah? How shall I set thee as Zeboim? Mine heart is turned within me. My repentings are kindled together. I will not execute the fierceness of mine anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim. For I am God, and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, then the children shall tremble from the west. They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, and as a dove out of the land of Assyria. And I will place them in their houses, saith the Lord. Ephraim compasseth me about with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the saints.
Chapter 12. The Lord uses prophets, visions, and similitudes to guide his people, but they become rich and will not wait on the Lord. Ephraim provokes him most bitterly.
Ephraim feedeth on wind, and followeth after the east of
Premier
him.
pala ako.
He daily increaseth lies and desolation, and they do make a covenant with the Assyrians, and oil is carried into Egypt. The Lord hath also a controversy with Judah, and will punish Jacob according to his ways, according to his doings. He recompensed him. He took his brother by the heel, and by his strength he had power with God. Yea, he had power over the angel, and prevailed. He wept, and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us. Even the Lord God of hosts, the Lord is his memorial. Therefore turn thou to thy God. Keep mercy and judgment, and wait on thy God continually. He is a merchant, the balances of deceit are in his hand. He loveth to oppress. And Ephraim said, Yet I am become rich, I have found me out substance. In all my labors they shall find none iniquity nor sin. And I that am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, yet make thee to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the solemn feast. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions, and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Is there iniquity in Gilead? Surely they are vanity. They sacrifice bullocks in Gilgal. Yea, their altars are as heaps of furrows in the fields. And Jacob fled into the country of Syria, and Israel served for a wife, and for a wife he kept sheep. And by a prophet the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, and by a prophet was he preserved. Ephraim provoked him to anger most bitterly. Therefore shall he leave his blood upon him, and his reproach shall his Lord return unto him.
Chapter 13. Ephraim's sins provoke the Lord. There is no Savior beside the Lord. He ransoms from the grave and redeems from death.
When Ephraim spake trembling, he exalted himself in Israel. But when he offended in Baal, he died. And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver, and idols according to their own understanding, all of it the work of the craftsman. They say of them, Let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. Therefore they shall be as the morning cloud, and as the early dew that passeth away, as the chaff that is driven with the whirlwind out of the floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. Yet I am the Lord thy God from the land of Egypt, and thou shalt know no God but me, for there is no Savior beside me. I did know thee in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. According to their pasture, so were they
Oh,
filled.
wait lang.
They were filled, and their
Next,
heart was
ipipi
exalted.
natin.
Therefore have they forgotten me. Therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard by the way will I observe them. I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved
Okay,
of her
dan na
whelps,
kay
and will
ano
recall their
na.
heart, and there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beast shall tear them.
Next.
Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thine help. I will be thy king. Where is any other that may save thee in all thy cities? And thy judges of
Ano
whom
na,
thou
Ben
saidst,
Vlog?
Give me a king and
Naglaglab ako
princes.
ng dalawa.
I gave thee a king in mine anger, and took him
Sino
away
next?
in
Si
my wrath.
Ani Sabel.
The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up, his sin is hid. The sorrows of the travailing woman shall come upon him. He is not for his son, for he should not stay long in the place of the breaking forth of children. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. O
Ani,
death, I will be thy plague.
mag-play ako sa'yo.
O grave, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid
May
from
ano nga
thine
yung
eyes.
isang sipi.
Though he be fruitful among his brethren, an east wind shall come. The wind of the Lord shall come out of the villages, and his spring shall become dry. His
Next.
fountain shall be dried up.
Mag-play tayo sa ano.
The treasure of the
Sa, uy, kilikili ko itim.
Samaria shall become desolate, for she
May
hath
buhok.
rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword. Their
Maputim.
infants shall be dashed.
Play kita, Ani. Salamat, sis Ani. Ilan na ano mo? bahay.
Chapter 14. In the last
Go lang
days,
sis Ani.
and return unto the Lord.
O Israel, return
Yes,
unto the Lord thy
5:20
God,
ka na.
for thou hast fallen by thine iniquity.
Dikit
Take
na
with
ito
your
na.
words, and turn to the Lord.
Tingnan ko yung iba.
Say unto him, take away all iniquity, and receive us graciously. So will we render the calves of our lips.
Wait lang,
Asher shall not
mag-switch
save
account
us.
ako.
We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, ye are our gods. For in thee the fathers findeth mercy. I will heal their backsliding,
Ani,
and love
lahat ng
my
video
anger is
mo
turned
pa
away from me.
gawa ng
I will give
playlist
unto his
para
He
ma-play
shall
ko
grow as the lily, cast forth his roots
para
like
sa
the
iyong
willow.
watch hour.
His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, and his smell
May
as
client
Lebanon.
ako, ano,
They that hope in
mag-e-end
him
na rin
shall
ako na.
return. They shall revive as the corn, and grow as the vine. The sit thereof shall be as the bow of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, what have I to do any more with idols? I have heard him, and observed him.
Di
I
pa
am like a
magamit
green
ibang
fig tree. From me
sleep.
is thy fruit
Ay,
found.
lapak.
Who is wise, and he shall understand these
Nagamit ko
things?
yan.
Prudent, and he shall know them. For the ways of the Lord are right, and the just shall walk in them.
Ay,
The
dapat.
transgressors shall fall
Tumakas.
therein.
Dapat tape pala ito.
Chapter 1.
Tipan basag. Lagay mo sa kaso.
For the day of the Lord is at hand.
Lapak. Di kaya nasira.
Hear this, give ear, ye inhabitants of the land. Let this be in your days, or even in the days of your fathers. Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their
Ay,
children
wala
in
na.
every generation. That which the palmer hath left, and the locust, and that which the locust hath left, and the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm
Ay.
hath left, and the caterpillar eaten. Wake, ye drunkards, be ye, and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. For a nation is come up upon my land that is strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of a lion,
Basag na
and he
kasi.
hath the chief teeth of a great lion. He hath laid my vine
Yung
waste,
isa
and
na lang.
plots my fig tree. He hath made the vineyard barren,
Meron pa naman
the branches that were pruned and white. Like a virgin girded with fat, with her waist
Kay
girded
ani
with
ako
wine.
nag...
How can I tell her I don't miss
As a
her?
cloth in the house of the Lord, the priests, the Lord's ministers. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the
Wala
corn
pa.
is wasted,
Teka
the
lang.
wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. For shame,
Playing sis Ani Sadora.
for the wheat and for the barley,
Wait lang.
because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, the fig tree languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of
Tabi lang
men.
ko na lang.
Gird yourselves and lament, ye priests, all ye ministers of God. Come, lie all night in sackcloth, ye ministers of my God. Eat offering, drink offering, is withholden from the house of the Lord.
Wait lang.
Sanctify me the fast, call aside the assembly, gather the elders,
Mega
and
shout
Levites,
out.
in the house of the Lord. Cry unto the Lord. Alas for the day, for the day of the Lord is at hand, as a destruction from all
Hello
my
po,
nations.
mag-discarding
Is no man
Nanay
like unto
19.
thee,
Hello, hello. Mega shout
fatness from the
out.
house of our God?
I give you a jacket
Secret is brought
too.
out of the closet, the garners laid desolate. The barns are broken
Salamat
down,
po.
the floor is withered. How are
Mute
the
na lang
beasts
na.
scattered? The herds of cattle are perplexed, because they have no
Next.
pasture.
Thank you po.
The flocks of sheep
Smart,
lie
no
desolate.
smart.
Discarding
To thee will I cry,
Next is
O
smart.
pastures of the wilderness.
Smart
Flame
children.
are all trees of the field.
Smart,
The
you
beasts
still
of the
there.
field cry also unto thee.
Ay, dito ko
For
mag-play
the
kay
rivers of
sis Ani.
waters are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness.
Chapter 2. War and desolation from the second
Ay, ayun pala. Ah, Dikitan. Ito na lang sis Ani. Yan, napakinabangan siya ko. Next time. Anis adorable. Ani, lahat ng video mo ilagay mo sa mix videos playlist. Yung sayo lang lahat kaya may nakamix man na iba. Labasa pang buhok ko. Kita ng puti. Hindi ako magpakulay. Hindi ako magpakulay. Playing sis Anisadora. Wait lang. Smart na sang ka na. Smart na sang ka na. Smart. Okay. Ay, nag-double pala. Sana ba yung live ko? Naman. Ay. Next. Maingay itits. sarang. Next is Martin. Ay, nawala man. Smart. Ay, ito pala. Ito lang hawak. Chiru. Hey, ay smart. Why mo hawak? Plain na lang sa 124 lang. Video ni smart. Sis Annie, paano kaya ma-play ang iyong playlist? Okay, smart playing. Gusto nyo na, nantok na ako. Bala kay harap ko na to kay ano. Hi to Hi tuhod, maitim na ang tuhod. Ay, bamput. Sis Amy, puti ng tuhod ko ah. Ba't ganun sa camera oh? Parang walang itim. Ayos yung camera. Hi tuhod. Ay, nangyari. Na-hide ko yung Sis MJ. Tuhod. Hi tuhod. Ang puti ng tuhod no. Kili-kili try. Uy. Ba't ganyan yung kili-kili ko? Ang kili-kiling maputin. MJ, wait lang, mag-play ako sa'yo. Kumusta na? Wala pa din ang aking AdSense pin, MJ. MJ Fernando. Mega love shout out sa iyo. Ang aking tuhod ay dapat umiitim to eh kasi nagtitikluhod ako. Ba't ang puti? Ang puti ng tuhod eh. Wala, Indian seat lang ako dito sis. Hi, tuhod. Naka-Indian seat lang kasi ako, sisi. Kaya ganyan, oh. Omsang ganyan. Tas ayos yung background ko, no. Ayos yung background ko, sis. Yan ay CR. Dapat doon sa kabila. Kaya lang dito. Ay, pag nakagawa na ako saksakan. Ay, magpagawa pa ako ng saksakan. Hi, daming gastos. Mahirap mabuhay mag-isa sa mundo. Hi, Pac Village Vlog. Hello, how are you, Pac Village Vlogs? Your YTCs growing up always. Good luck, good luck. Okay, later I will play. I'm playing now my kanina. Kanino ako naka-apply ka lang kasi nasa gilid kasi yung mga city. Kay smart ito smart. Wait lang kasi pili lang tayo sa mga paano ako maka-play sa iyong sa iyong video, magawa ka ng playlist. Hi MJ. Ay, meron pang dinadik na love kay Kati. Mag-love ako ng isa. Pasok na si Naku, nurse din pala to si Sis Kati. Pareho ng profession sa kanyang mother na si MJ Fernando. Mega lang shout out sa'yo dyan, Sisi. OJT na ata si Kati, Sis MJ. Hello, nandiyan ka pa ba? Binasa na kayo. Meron lang akong 1 million people in my house. Who is this? Hello. Who is this? Hello, who are you? Can you talk to me? I'm so bored. Wala akong ka-chat. Magpakulay na lang kayo. Masaya pa. Kulay blue. Pwede na. O violet. Diba ganyan yung mga Chinese. Ay, ang kill. Huwag pakita ang puting kill. Puting na kill. Huwag ipakita. Uy, meron na akong 2 million people in my house and 9 na patansap. Ay, mag-prepare pa pala ako ng massage oil ko. Saan yung naantok na ako, bye-bye na ako. Sige, pag masero na ang aking tao, bye-bye na ako. Yan na playing kay MJ. Tsaka kay play na natin si Kati. Si Kati ay mayroong saan nag-duty si Kati? Ayos si Kati nakapag-vlog sa kaya ito nagtambal. Bibihis na ako. Sa anak kain na dun may hotdog tsaka togi tsaka tulpang talang. 164. Sis Ani, mag-bye-bye na ako. Uy, bye-bye na ako biglang. Meron akong 3 million people in my house. Ano yan? Kainin ko. Di kain kapakwan. Ubus ko na eh. Sarap eh. Mega love shout out everyone. Asaan na kayo? Be, wala pang pagkain si hamster. 3 million people in my house. Thanks much for coming. Sino mga nandyan? Sino ang aking ayudahan? Okay, Pack Village Vlog. Done watching to your video. Traveling in Kohat. First video, what second video next? Only 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Next, sino ipi-play natin? O wala nang magpaayuda. Paayuda kasi siga pa ang aking mata, pero naantok na may switch ay. Hello, mega love shout out everyone. Pasok lang sa mga gustong magpaayuda. Ayan si wala na magpaayuda. Bye-bye na ako. May mamassage ako. Wala nang magpaayuda. Natapos ko na lahat ang mga Uy. Okay. Bye-bye na mga kapatids. Mamayang gabi na lang po ulit kasi may client ako. Nag-chat na. Sis Annie, bye-bye. Play kita.
Ano?
God bless everyone. Thanks much sa lahat ng mga pumasok at nag-thumbs up. Churambe.